Yeah, been a part of some big wins. Luckily, the last two seasons, but that for me personally was the best win for us since I've been the head coach. So, was really thankful and grateful for the staff and the players and how everybody responded in the game. You know, it takes a lot for people sometimes to find the ability to respond after things don't go your way, and you have an embarrassing loss at home, and what factors lead into that. More guys hurt, more guys out. We only dressed 58 players for the game. We had 4 guys on the trip that hadn't been in a game all year. One guy had never been on a plane before. And they just showed up and played with Aggie pride and played really hard, and the energy and just the love they had for each other. So by far the best win for me personally, and just really grateful and thankful for the staff and players and support staff and everybody for bouncing back and having a great week. So thought all 3 phases did some really nice things, and still not perfect by any means, but find a way to win on the road, and I think put ourselves in a good spot now to be in playoff contention, and now obviously have a really difficult opponent that is beating everybody by 100 points every week, and got to play them at their place at home at night, and so what a great atmosphere and a great challenge, and our guys are looking forward to going up there and doing the best they can. Some of that had to do with the defensive structure of Idaho. They were employing a style of defense that is really rare, and luckily it was the same defense we had played against Northern Iowa in 2018 playoffs. And in that style of defense, the perimeter run can sometimes be helpful. So that was probably more the reason why we had some of those. But yeah, also you're down Carter, who's one of the better tailbacks in the country. You still have one of the better tailbacks in the country in Jordan. And so just finding different ways to get the run game going, and so a little bit of that to do with it too. No, I love Jordan. If I had a game ball, I would have gave it to him this past game. I think sometimes even myself, just being completely transparent, probably underappreciate how great he is. It's been easier to shell carries off when you got 2 great backs, but we knew he was going to be a guy. He's going to get, he'll get 20 to 30 carries every week now, and he'll be in all the important situations, and he did marvelous. He was wonderful and played great. So I think it's just more of for everyone else to see how great Jordan is. We see it every day. It's just probably a collection of things. The penalties, both games have probably been the most alarming thing. We had a touchdown against Idaho State called back because of a penalty. Had 2 touchdowns against Idaho called back because of penalties. So, if it was a scheme-related thing like it was a year ago we were just not doing a great job schematically. But we spent all off-season working on that. Felt like we were into a great rhythm at the start of the year, and I think our messaging, today with the team has just been, we got to just do a better job focusing, executing down there. Had things we wanted. The interception from Caden is a great play by their nickel. Got the look we wanted. He just did a good job kind of sniffing it out. But I told Caden today, I wouldn't care if he threw that 100 out of 100 times. He was on time. He let it rip. The guy made a good play. So, but the penalties are the things that we got to clean up down there, and can't have second halves where we're scoring 7 and 9 points when we're getting, the last 2 weeks we've had almost 300 yards of offense in the second half and haven't gotten enough points out of it. So just got to finish drives and execute. If it felt like last year, I'd be more alarmed, but this feels more like just an execution thing and not a scheme thing. No, I mean I feel extremely challenged all 25 games, Bob. Especially on Mondays, I feel like we're gonna lose by 100 on Monday. But yeah, obviously, we've played some really good teams. We played these guys a year ago, and they are, the class of the conference right now, and deservedly so. They're beating everybody by 1 million points and playing great defense and scoring a bunch. And they're the, I think, number 3 team in the country, and they deserve that ranking. And I think they're different than last year. You can't replace guys like the quarterback they lost and their safety they lost, one of their DNs, their corners. They had some great players. They've replaced them with new great players, but they're just different great players. So still extremely talented, really, really difficult in all three phases. If we don't play well, I'm sure they'll run us out of the building like they've done to everybody else. So just got to do a good job focusing on us and executing in all three phases and doing the things we got better at this past week, and hopefully that leads to us playing well this week. But we'll have to play our very best to probably even be in the game. Yeah, he's having a great year. He's obviously had a wild path. I think this is his fourth school, so I think you really got to give credit to the Montana State staff, right, and finding ways to utilize his athleticism and get him in positions where he can be comfortable and complete the ball at a high percentage. So sometimes it's about fit, and thankfully for him, he's found a good fit, and that staff does such a great job that I'm not shocked by his success. He was obviously really talented in high school. His brother went to school here, and so really, really happy for Justin, and always rooting for the Lampson family, except for one game a year. I think it starts with tradition. They've won for so long that gets built into the fiber. I think the Montana schools, they're both the only show in town, right? So they are the NFL teams of their areas, and they get support that way, right? So they get financial support from their donors, and they get support from their students and the community at a clip that's higher than a lot of Power 4 schools, to be quite honest. So for us to get to that point, like we've talked about before, we have to get financial support from donors and people that want to help us grow, and we got to get support from our students and community to help fill this place up, make it feel like those places when we're there. But they've also had tremendous coaching, obviously, no matter who's been at the helm there. Obviously, Bobby at Montana forever in both stints, but Coach Vigen's a tremendous coach. Coach Choate was tremendous before him. So they've had great coaches for a long time and good staffs, and they can recruit great players. And so they're very well coached. They're very athletic. They got a bunch of tradition, great support. You rattle all that together, it's going to be good every year. It is a big deal for our program. It's our third nationally televised game, which is great that we're getting that type of response from the TV networks and everything. I won't be able to watch it because I have YouTube TV, so won't be able to have that at my house. So luckily I'll be in person, so I'll be able to see it. Yeah, yeah, I think it's great to get the gold helmet, and to get people around the country to see our program, and it helps in recruiting. Hopefully, helps gain some more support financially for people that want to help us get to the level of a Montana State. But yeah, I grew up watching Pac-12 After Dark, and man, the one that jumps out to me right now, I don't know why, but I remember a UCLA game where Cade McNown threw a late touchdown to Deshaun Foster. I'm trying to remember if they were playing Washington State or something like that, but I was a big UCLA guy back in the late 90s when they had Cade McNown and Deshaun and a couple of those wideouts under Coach Bob Toledo, I think. But yeah, I mean, I grew up watching those late games, and the fact that hopefully, I'm sure will be one of the later games of the evening, so a lot of eyes on the Big Sky, and that feels so privileged to be a part of this conference, and the support we get from our commissioner and everybody involved, and for us to have these type of games every week. Montana against Sac State, and I think Montana against Idaho earlier in the year, and for us to have the chance to have a game like that is very thankful that they would think of us to put us in a game like that. And I'm happy that we've had enough success this year where the game has a little bit of meaning to it. So hopefully it represents the conference really well and shows UC Davis, to the national spotlight, which hopefully can help us. I don't really look at like where we're going to play or how we play. I do think at this point that we've done enough to be in the playoff conversation. In my opinion, we've won 8 games. I know they're going to say we've won 7, but we've played 10 games, and 8 of them, when it was over, we were in the lead. And if they're not going to give the Twins their game back because they played in it, then I consider it a game played. So, and I know Mercer's a top 10 team. So for us to go to Alabama and win that game, so to have 8 wins, I think if you win 8 wins, you're going to get in the playoffs. And so We have talked about the fact that we're probably going to be in the playoffs, but our goals at the start of the year are win the conference and beat your rivals, and we still have the opportunity to do both of those things. So it's great that we still have the opportunity to achieve our goals. We knew that if we took care of business, it would probably come down to us having to go up there and figure out a way to beat these guys. So just glad that this game still has conference implications, and we can go up and take our swing at the champs. We have to play our best game. We have to play our best version of us, which is, we're physical. We need to be the most physical team. We need to be the smartest team. We need to be efficient on offense and create some explosive plays and score in the gold zone, and need to be great tacklers on defense and have great eye control, hopefully force some turnovers, take care of the ball. Need to be really sound on special teams. They have probably the best punt returner on the planet, and we lost a game last year because we couldn't stop him. So, if we can do those things and play to our standard and play the way that we're capable of, I think we can play with anybody, and we've proven if we don't play the way we're capable of, we can lose to anybody. So it's really about us, not them. As great as they are, we need to play our best to even have a chance to be in it. Well, I think it starts with their guys up front. They got a really, really good defensive front, probably one of the best in the country. Number 11, number 41, these are really elite players. And I think their safeties, just like last year, they're really well coached. They do a good job kind of being the erasers. Number 5 is a great player. So I just think their scheme, if you try to take a shot downfield, they're probably going to get home before you can protect it. And if you do get something completed or get something to second level, they normally tackle the guy pretty soundly. So I think it just starts with their front and their great coaching that allows them to not give up a lot of explosives. I think Jacob's got a really good combination of he's obviously a tremendous athlete. He's got a good combination of size and strength and quickness for the edge place. Those are always the toughest guys to block, where they have the strength to push you back, but they also have the quickness to get an edge. But I also think he's a really intelligent player, so he can diagnose plays kind of before they happen, and he takes some risks because of that I know makes Coach Coombs really nervous. But sometimes great defensive players can kind of sense the play before it's coming, and so that's the thing we probably didn't know about him when we recruited him. We knew he was athletic and really strong, but he's got a really, really good sense of football, what plays are coming. You're probably not going to fool him twice. Studies film like a madman. So just a good combination that leads to him making a lot of plays. Yeah, we had a good laugh this morning as a team, kind of watching it. Yeah, kind of an out-of-body experience for my guy there. Love Darrell. I don't think he can really explain why he did what he did. I think just the emotions of the play, but good lesson for all our guys to learn. You can't take your helmet off, and if your helmet comes off, you got to stop playing. And in the moment, I thought his helmet must have been knocked off, but you watch it, and he took it off himself. It had gotten kind of rustled around, and he took it off to kind of adjust it, and then I just think he saw Jaden running and took off. We only got one rule here: you don't leave your helmet on the ground. So I'm just happy it was in his hand. Yeah, that's Jim Soker. He taught me that. That's a mantra of our team. We're going to detach from the results and find joy every day. We go out there and one of the things we talk about is today's the best day of your life, right? And until tomorrow. So I think as embarrassing and hurtful as that game felt, and we all felt it, I think it was really important to reestablish consistency and come back on Monday and do the same thing we always do. And I told the guys immediately after the game, if you want better results, you got to have a better process, and that's the only way that gets you there. And the truth is, as hard as you work, winning's not fair. Winning doesn't think about you. It doesn't care about how hard you work. There's people that'll work less hard or be lazier than you, and they might beat you, right? It just it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the result you want. But the only guarantee I know is that if you don't work hard, you're going to lose. So we had to take that loss and move on, just like take a big win and move on, and just thankful to have more games to play and see how good we can be, because we still haven't played our best football. And if that's still out there, then that's our quest really, is see how good we can play. and that's really all I care about. Doesn't matter who we play, just matters how well we play.